Welcome to News Alert on Capital Television.
Dr. Roger Corantin, Governor Advisor at the Commonwealth Secretariat, UK, has called on Ghanaians not to do anything to jeopardize the good governance record the country is enjoying, adding that he enjoys a warm reception at international fora because of the democratic gains of the country.
We should do everything to maintain and develop and nurture the path of good governance we are taking. We shouldn't do anything to damage. We can do our own little politicking here, but as a country, we should always be united and come to the world table with good governance credentials we have.
The governor responsible for governance and anti-corruption in all the 54 Commonwealth states made this known at the 4th Commonwealth Regional Conference for heads of anti-corruption agencies in Africa being hosted in Accra. According to Dr. Corantin, this year's team coordinating national anti-corruption agenda within the Commonwealth is to rally African states for action, disclosing that Botswana, Mauritius, Seychelles, Lesotho, Namibia and Ghana are among the least corrupt on the continent. Speakers at the 5-day conference include Frank Vogel, co-founder of Transparency International, director of UNDOC Africa and heads of anti-corruption agencies. He urged the media, business community and citizens to fight corruption on all levels, calling for education of the masses so they can take government and elected officials to task when they abuse power.
What I sought to do is to bring all our own people together. Within our own people, some are doing much better, some are not doing well. But they will learn from each other because they speak the same language. They are all African. If you can do it better in your country, facing the same challenges we are facing, then I can learn from you how you do it. And that is a better way of learning. Everybody benefit when a country has a clean government and anti-corruption, corruption free. So what I'm leaving with Ghanaians is that corruption is everybody's fight.
Resident engineer for the Kwame Nkrumah Circle Interchange, Kweku Diafo, has stated that 35% of the work has been done, adding the main challenge has been with people who move barriers at the project site at night. Speaking to Capital TV News, Mr. Diafo explained that the foundations for the interchange are in place, paving way for the construction of the superstructures to begin. He added that construction works on the 3 bridges will commence by next week, indicating that the interchange will separate the traffic flow, allowing for less congestion. According to the resident engineer, 84,000 vehicles pass through the Kwame Nkrumah Circle daily, resulting in the great lock experienced on the road, adding the flyovers are going to lessen travel time. Mr. Diafo also stated that additional drains will be constructed to reduce flooding in the area, explaining, however, that the desilting of the Odo River falls under the purview of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. He further stated that rains would not disrupt work as provisions have been made for the season.
We started very well. So far we've done about 35% of the work. We don't have much challenges. The challenges that we have is to deal with pedestrians. Before we had these guard railings around the circle, and that those guard railings are not movable. And now we have movable barriers that have been put in place. Sometimes by the time we come in the morning, people have moved them or shifted them in position. So it gives a bit of challenge. We want to appeal to the general public to make sure that they don't tamper with what we have. They should cooperate with us. Don't tamper with what we have in their place. As I said before, we've done 35% of the work, and we are progressing steadily with it.
Capital TV News has gathered that 6 people died after a galamsey pit collapsed on them on Monday at Chichire in the Asante Achim Central Municipality of the Ashanti region. 3 of the illegal miners who sustained injuries are said to be on admission at the Konongo Odumase Government Hospital for treatment. The illegal miners were trapped after the 8-meter deep pit they were mining in collapsed on them. The dead bodies of the deceased have been deposited at a mortuary at Yakwe. DSP Richard Anaba Salifu told us more via phone.
Yesterday, at about 2:33 there, about that we were called to the scene. What happened was that I think they traced the rock. And as it was going down, they were chiseling and following. And I think somewhere along the line, the place was quite soft. And then it caved in. And then according to the survivors, they were 10 in number. One, they covered along his waist, so they were able to retrieve him. And then those who were trapped inside, because it wasn't very deep, they used shovels to rescue them. Then after the rescue operation, 3 were dead. 6 were dead. Then 3 were sent to the hospital. And then, after this morning, 3 were on admission. But the 6 who perished, they are currently at the first-class hospital morgue. And they are yet to do post-mortem, and then after which the bodies will be released to the families for burial.
A 2013 report released by the World Bank paints a gloomy picture of agriculture in Africa. The report says Africa accounts for about 25% of the world's fertile lands and 50% of the world's unused fertile lands. The report indicates that despite this huge land resource potential, the continent is the net importer of food, recipient of substantial food aid, and continues to experience recurrent hunger. According to the World Bank report, about 300 million people who suffer chronic famine are from sub-Saharan Africa. The report recommends that African leaders must endeavor to channel the energies of the pool of the unemployed youth, who constitute about 60% of the continent's population, into agriculture to satisfy its demand for food and raw materials for industry. At an agri-fair yesterday, Capital News asked some youth farmers their challenges.
There is not enough platform in terms of inviting entities or inviting programs. I got into farming right after national service when I moved into my village to see my grandma. And I saw a lot of culture, I fell in love with it, and I started, as an entrepreneur, where I see myself to be, I took it up from there. Some of the challenges also is the funding, because I've been doing all these by myself, from small savings and family support. If I'm supposed to get like a few $1,000s to get some machinery to deal with this, we can't be processing the cashew from the nuts to get the cashew kernels, and further processes to get the cashew milk, to get the cashew cheese, to get the spiced cashew nut, etc., as well as making gin and cashew juice from the cashew apples.
The challenges have been that some people, we find it difficult to enter into their farms because they don't have road access to their farms. And we want to plead the government to help such people, who have good facility, good roads, so that we can get to their farm.
A phenomenon seems to be developing in recent times in Ghana, where dead bodies are found on the beaches after beach parties on holidays. It could be recalled that many people were found dead on the shores of the sea after the Easter Monday beach parties. Yesterday was no different, as many people trooped to the beaches to enjoy the African Union holiday. A 24-year-old unemployed man was found dead at the Kole Beach at Kolegono in the Greater Accra region. A fisherman who was going about his early morning duties tells Capital TV News how he came by the dead body of Raphael Dodu.
The Ghanaian midfielder Michael Essien has promised to go all out to achieve greater heights for Ghana at the World Cup in Brazil. Michael Essien, who will be playing for the Black Stars for the second time in the World Cup, has served notice that he is going to the World Cup to die for his country. He joined his colleagues on Monday and took part in training at their Arnhem base. The team is preparing for a friendly encounter against the Netherlands on May 31st. A Sudanese woman awaiting the death penalty for abandoning her religious faith has given birth in jail near the capital, Khartoum. Her lawyer has said Mariam Yahya Ibrahim Ishaq married a Christian man and was sentenced to hang for apostasy earlier this month after refusing to renounce Christianity. She is allowed to nurse her baby girl for 2 years before the sentence is carried out. Born to a Muslim father, she was convicted by a Sharia court. Sudan has a majority Muslim population which is governed by Islamic law. Ms. Ibrahim was also convicted of adultery on the grounds that her marriage to a Christian man from South Sudan was void under Sudan's version of Islamic law, which says Muslim women cannot marry non-Muslims. For this, the judge sentenced her to 100 lashes